All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're looking at something, well, something pretty out there. A proposal that's so radical it might just be brilliant. An idea that looks to the sky to fix a problem right here on the ground. I mean, seriously, just think about that for a second. Lightning, this totally random, powerful force of nature. What if it wasn't random anymore? What if we could actually harness it, aim it, and turn it into a tool for healing the planet? And there it is, right from the source document. It reads like something straight out of a sci-fi novel, doesn't it? But this isn't fiction. This is a real, grounded scientific proposal called Dust Nova. So yeah, let's unpack this. At its heart, Dust Nova is trying to tackle a huge global challenge. Our planet's lands are drying up. They're turning into deserts. And this project sees this incredible untapped power source in the very storms that brew over these arid landscapes. Okay, so here's the deal. Every single time lightning flashes, it's basically creating a burst of natural fertilizer from the air. It's a massive, totally free source of the nitrogen that plants need to grow. The big problem? It's completely random. It hits rocks, it strikes oceans. Most of that natural power is just wasted. And that's where lightning farming comes in. The idea isn't to create storms, not at all. It's about gently nudging the lightning that's already there. The whole goal is to become a conductor of nature's orchestra, pointing the rain and that nitrogen fertilizer exactly where it can do the most good to jumpstart life again. Okay, so how on earth would you actually do this? Well, the proposal lays out what it calls a greening recipe, a 4-part toolkit designed to work in perfect sequence from way up in the clouds all the way down into the soil. Right, here are the 4 big steps. You start by seeding the clouds. Then you guide the lightning strike, and then you follow up with 2 more steps to get the soil ready and keep it healthy. Let's break each one of these down. First up, the dust bioseed. Before a storm even gets going, drones fly up and release this special blend of natural particles, pollen, spores, that kind of thing. You can think of them like super seeds for making rain. They're what scientists call ice nucleating particles, or INPs, and they basically give water vapor something to grab onto, making it way easier to form ice crystals and ultimately create more efficient rain right over your target. Okay, now for the really cool part, spark morph. This is where you actually steer the lightning. As you can see, natural lightning is totally unpredictable and wasteful. But with this system, it becomes a precision tool. How? You fire an ultra-short pulse laser up from the ground. It creates this temporary little channel in the air that's way more conductive. It's basically like creating a phantom copper wire in the sky for a split second, giving the lightning an easy path to follow right down to where you want it. And the results of preparing the soil are, well, look at that number, a 40% increase. After the lightning brings the water and nitrogen, a special mycoquartz gel is applied to the ground. And in tests, plots treated with this stuff held on to 40% more moisture. That is huge when every single drop counts. And for the final touch, you apply what they call the green sheet. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a living bandage for the earth. It's a sprayable mix of moss and algae that locks down that new, fragile soil, traps dust, and keeps the ground cool, giving all that new growth a fighting chance. So, this all sounds absolutely incredible. Maybe a little too incredible. The big question is it actually feasible? Well, the proposal doesn't just throw out a wild idea. It lays out a pretty credible, cautious, step-by-step research plan to find out. Yeah, this isn't a flip a switch and change the world kind of plan. It's broken down into these really clear stages. First, just prove you can guide lightning for 50 meters. If that works, move on to a pilot program. Try for 100 meters and see if you can get a 15% bump in green cover. Only if that works do you even start thinking about scaling up. Every step has to prove itself before moving on. And, a really crucial point here is safety. This isn't some rogue experiment. The plan is built on a super strict safety framework. We're talking everything from laser safety and managing airspace to making absolutely sure that any microbes used are non-GMO and sourced locally. The number one rule guiding the whole thing is do no harm. And how do you build trust for a project this ambitious? You make it completely transparent. The entire thing is designed to be open science. All the data, the methods, the results, even the mistakes, get published publicly in a Git repository. They call it Open MRV, and it means any scientist anywhere can check their work, which is exactly how good science should be done. Okay, so What if it all works? What's the grand vision here? Well, it starts right here on Earth, but it definitely doesn't end here. For our planet, the goals are super clear, super tangible. Revitalize degraded land by seriously boosting soil moisture and green cover. And a huge side effect of that? Less dust blowing around in the air, which is great for air quality and the regional climate.
But the vision, it really doesn't stop with just fixing our own backyard.
The ultimate goal, the big, audacious dream here, is to create a blueprint for seeding new worlds. So take Mars, for example. You obviously can't do the same thing there. The atmosphere is totally different. So the idea would be to adapt the tech. Instead of big lightning, you'd use the lasers to trigger these tiny little electrical discharges inside Martian dust devils. They even have a cool nickname for it, the electrodrill. And this isn't about terraforming. It's a science tool, a way to study the chemistry of the Martian air, to look for resources, all while following super strict rules to make sure we don't contaminate the planet. And that leaves us with this just mind-blowing question. Could the very same spark that helps us regrow our own deserts one day give us the tools to seed a future on a completely different world? It's a vision that connects the healing of our planet to the first steps on another, all starting with the wild, brilliant idea of farming lightning.